There could have been preventative measures put in place beforehand by the Alphium team with prior knowledge of similar instances on other blockchains. But all in all, I think the network's going to recover okay because the hash power is still there and the hash power can move. But it does put a blight on the project as a whole because the blockchain itself, came to a halt effectively, just like Ergo did. Completely honest about all of it. We'll get into like Alphium here, but in the Alphium case, which is what we're about to cover, there could have been preventative measures put in place beforehand by the Alphium team with prior knowledge of similar instances on other blockchains. But all in all, I think the network's going to recover okay because the hash power is still there and the hash power can move. But it does put a blight on the project as a whole because the blockchain itself, came to a halt effectively, just like Ergo did. You guys can check out my videos on the Ergo difficulty adjustment post Ethereum if you want to check that out to get you guys a better idea on that one in particular. But today we're covering Alpha. It's sort of a similar issue. And there are other issues that compounded that fact, right? So with Alphium in particular. But it all started 8 days ago with an announcement from via BTC that they would be discontinuing the ALF mining pool. So they came out with a blog post and said, "Dear via BTC users, after careful consideration, we will discontinue the ALF mining pool and its asset management services." And it said the details are that it would end on July 24th. Deposit services would also end on 24th. And on the 31st, ALF asset management would end completely. Right. So I think that means effectively you could withdraw your Alphium until the 31st, which gives you a few more days. What is the date today? Let me look at this. Yeah, that gives you like 5 more days or so. So that's pretty good. So you got about 5 days left to go ahead and push this through. Now, it says in the important notes that once the Alphium mining pool is shut down, earnings data will no longer be accessible. And if needed, please export and back up your data from earnings. This would be important for tax purposes, so make sure you cover that. After the asset management is closed, all Alphium related services, including payments, withdrawals, conversions, and revenue sharing will be disabled. To avoid unnecessary asset loss, please make sure to complete asset disposal before July 31st. We recommend withdrawing your Alphium to CoinX Exchange for 0 fee and real-time settlement. And if you do not complete the disposal of your Alphium assets before July 31st, your remaining Alphium will be converted into USDT and credited to your USDT wallet, which is pretty cool. Basically, you have the option to sell your ALF, or they will just auto-convert it for you and give you the USDT, so there's no potential for a loss of fiat value. I think that's fair. 8 days notice is frankly quite fair, I think, too. Maybe a little short. But I think that would have given, miners ample time to swap pools. I think it gives the pools ample time to review their services and ensure that they are capable of supporting that new hash rate. And I don't think that via BTC did anything wrong here, meaning that effectively, I think the announcement's fine. I would have preferred maybe 30 days notice. I think that that would have been a little bit more fair, closer to, traditional market heads up, that type of thing. But they did give notice. I think everything's good. So on July 24th, a couple days ago, or July 25th, excuse me, I guess it happened on 24th or after they shut down, I saw this come out from Alphium. And it said, urgent network announcement. Dear Alphium community, earlier today, the network began experiencing significantly increased block times due to a sudden spike in difficulty. After investigation, we identified the root cause, which was a sharp drop in hash rate combined with a specific asset of our difficulty adjustment algorithm. DAA for short. If you're ever reading and you see DAA related to a proof of work cryptocurrency, that refers to the difficulty adjustment algorithm. This algorithm has been the downfall of multiple proof of work projects for a long time, right? This isn't the first time we've seen it. It's easy to point out Ergo as the biggest example because it was the most impactful, I think, to everybody across the cryptocurrency community. But in general, just so you understand, that's what we're referencing. This has been a known problem. Now, in regard to Alphium themselves, I don't know if this is specifically due to low adjustment times. So traditionally, like what happened with Ergo, right? To give you guys background, is the time between difficulty adjustments was longer than the amount of time it would take for the blockchain to get there because of the height of the difficulty and the reduction of the amount of hash rate on the network. Now, this was due to the fact that a bunch of people moved over to Ergo post-ETH, realized it wasn't profitable, and shut down like large mining farms, which brought the chain to a halt. In the case of Alphium, it's a little bit more difficult. There are effectively multiple chains or on Alphium, right? And there are pool ops that were not aware of this as well. So this was a multifaceted issue. So not only did via BTC shut down and a bunch of the hash rate fall off, but when the hash rate decided to come back online, a lot of them were defaulting to F2 pool. Well, F2 pool, even though it is a large pool and you would expect them to have pretty well-informed people running it, unfortunately was effectively, to my knowledge, only mining one of the chains. And so that it means essentially that not all of the chains were being processed and you were still in a sort of semi-halted, slowed down state, right? And I can show you, we can probably even look up the Alphium block explorer here. The transactions are back down. You can see this was up high over here and you can see the dips and then back up. So I think this was after the recovery. I'd have to go. I wish I could get a longer. I can't, can I? No, I cannot. And another thing that impacts, of course, is going to be transactions. You can see it in the transaction history. And I believe there was a hash rate one, but I don't know where I left it. So you'll see the hash rate had dropped off. We'll go to mining pool stats. Maybe it'll be there. Alphium. Yeah, so you can, it's really hard to see, but you can see here effectively the difficulty and then the difficulty spike, which was effectively due to this whole kerfuffle. And if the difficulty is extremely high, the block times slow down, you can't make it to the next difficulty adjustment, and then that's kind of the position that you end up in. Now,